Hey, warriors, Lone Wolf here, and Charlie. But Charlie decided he's gonna have a little snooze. We got a rainy, cold day here in the Saskatchewan prairies. Welcome the rain, don't get me wrong. It's been so dry for months now that we really need this rain. But I think it's a great time for us all to sit and reflect and just listen to the rain and think about what's really going on here. I see everybody freaking out in the Telegram chats and Gab, BitChute, Brighteon about forced jab. And the forced jab is Nuremberg Code violation. Forced medical experimentation on a man or a woman is an executable offense. So when your corporation or job or government says you must comply to keep your job, don't comply. Stop complying and don't fear. I know that's easy to say and harder to act, and that's why I encourage you all to come to awarriorcalls.com, because not even just in the live stream class, but in the chats, there's a lot of light in these groups, in our group especially, and there's help. You know what? We don't have to live in fear. When you find out how this whole matrix of division, rage, and hate and early death colluded behind the scenes and networked so closely to make sure that we all lived in fear to control us, to make sure we submitted and complied and obeyed and stole our wealth and our life force and our families. You know, I will never forgive the Bar Association for what they've done to the family unit. And that's what's destroyed the family unit worldwide. You know, if there was no fight between a man and a woman, even in the event of separation, if there was no fight, what need has anyone of a bar association, an attorney? No man or woman can decide what I do with my ex-partner and my child. Doesn't matter what fight's going on. Nobody's trespassed each other's, nobody's hurt each other. We can make all the claims we want about each other, but no man or woman can step in and say, hey, you, Mr. or Mrs., has to pay 35% of your gross income before tax to your partner. You know, Mr. or Mrs. who's taking care of the offspring. We have to put honor back into an honorless society. And the only way they controlled us is by destroying the honor that we all should have maintained. And I'm just as guilty as everyone else. Like I said before, we all got duped. There isn't a man or woman alive that didn't get duped. And if they say they didn't get duped, they're even more duped than we thought. Because it's just a lie. Everybody got duped. But let the unduping begin. You know, it took centuries, thousands of years maybe, to get duped to this bad. It's not going to just immediately change overnight. It's going to be a lot of hard work by a lot of good men and women. And I plan to be one of those good men and women. I am one of those good men and women. You know, I'm trying to do my part. I've got, well, whatever. We all have to do our part, and the biggest part is making sure that we all know no one can force any man or woman to do anything with their body they don't want to. Ladies, if any man or woman stuck something in your body against your will, what do you call that? Okay? Because it doesn't change if it happens to a man. If a man or a woman sticks anything in a man's body against his will, what do you call that? You know, my body, my choice isn't for a specific gender or people. It's for everyone. My body, my choice, my biological vessel. Learn what that means. You know, you're just the self, the soul that resides inside there. Someday you're going to get a new meat suit. This is mine. I might not have done so great with it for the first 47 years, but I'm doing better. So, and I encourage you to too. Because we can all do better. But together we stand, or divided we fall. And so far, we're about to fall because we are so divided. Now they want you social distancing. Can't have you talking. You better fear that other man or woman, because we can't get together and start talking about what's truly going on. If we're fighting each other, we're never going to be able to talk about the real problem. And that problem is secret societies. They're all secret societies, and they all swear to one secret society. People better start realizing this really soon. We have no use for secret societies in a free and open society. We're all born free. It's not something that you need to achieve. You are free. You don't need to write a letter to the government to tell them you're free to be free, because you are free. Now, if the government tries to come after you with these outlandish claims on a fraudulent conveyance with fictitious languages, glossa, dissect every piece of paper that comes to your post is a fraud. Every one of them. Everything in a box is its own document. You're going to look at your one-page water bill or your one-page Sask power bill, and with frilly shading, it creates a box. You don't see a box because it's just colored bands between certain sections. Some of them are actually boxed off. So here you've got 30 documents on one page, and the whole thing is completely nonsensical. When you actually look at contract law, Uniform Commercial Code, it means nothing. You look at it, it means absolutely nothing. So again, if Lone Wolf sent you a piece of paper with all these little boxes on it and made it look really fancy and frilly to the point where you think I'm sending you a bill for something, and you don't know if it's real, what questions are you going to ask? Because you're going to say, well, who is this guy? Who is this man Lone Wolf that says I owe him money? How was this debt created? Do you have a contract with Mr. Lone Wolf that you signed, you autographed? Was there full disclosure in this claim you're making, Mr. Lone Wolf? What questions are you going to ask if I send you some bill out of the blue? Because me as given dominion over Earth and all of its resources, I'm not going to pay some private corporation to turn the lights and heat on my house to live and survive. It was minus 40 at the end of January, minus 40, minus 50 Celsius here in Regina. And, they're send you bills, cut off. Oh yeah? So you start sending letters. What are you talking about? Where does this debt come from? Who owns it? Where do you buy it from? Who are your competitors? There's literally hundreds of questions of why you're writing Mr. Lone Wolf to say, how come you're charging me for electricity for my home, Mr. Lone Wolf? I don't care who you say you work for, or what corporation you're from, or what authority you think you have. You have to be able to back that up if you're going to write to me. And it should be the same for you. Question everything. Trust no one, especially your government that clearly wants you dead 20 months later. 2 weeks to spread the curve, and now they're talking about wear 3 masks at a time and get a bend-over swab? How far do they have to go, people? They've gone pretty far here to make you all realize that some shit just ain't right here. Too many holes in this story, and we got to start asking questions. Pardon me, man or woman doesn't question. We make queries. Because if you're making queries, it's honorable. If you're questioning, it's a Nazi, like a policy enforcement. These men and women for the policy enforcement that run around with a shiny piece of tin that makes them think they got all this authority over other men and women. And they don't. Zero. Nothing. Unless you have a contract that you can prove to me you have this authority over my biological vessel. This is mine. A man or woman does not need governing. They're self-governing. They know the difference between right and wrong, and they are willing to abide by God's law. Corporation can't do that because you got 8 or 10 men or women on a board of directors. You got a CEO who's making decisions. You got a COO, CFO, all these different titles, fancy, flattering titles they give to make them think they get power. Question everything. Learn how to question the post that comes to your mailbox. Because I'm going to tell you, every single piece of it is a fraud. And in about 15 seconds, I can give you 20 questions that will completely shut them up. And a maxim of law is, he or she who does not deny admits. Silence is acquiescence. So, if you write an honorable conditional acceptance of the debt, I completely accept all the debts. If you say there is a debt owed, I am certain there is a debt owed, but by whom? So before I submit payment, never even submit. Before I can pay this bill, or this presentment, or this statement, or this account, or this service. Depends on how they label it. See, they got everything labeled differently. Look at every bill, everything's something a little bit different. Nothing's on the same page. And it's not signed. It's not a contract. In order for you to actually owe that money, there has to be a signature on there that says the debt is owed due and true. Now, Mr. Lone Wolf, you've got this bill here for electricity from my home. Are you willing to provide a document and signed in wet signature format under full commercial liability and under a penalty of perjury that there's no element of fraud in this bill, and that I, Jane, Lucy of the House of Doe family, whatever, the John Smith of the whatever, that I, the man or woman, owe this money and have been given full disclosure in this presentment. Because without full disclosure, a meeting of the minds, there's no contract. If it's not signed by two sentient beings in wet ink format, it's not a contract. They can't. There's no man or woman at these corporations that will respond to you. They can't. That breaks their laws, and they know it. They just hope that you're stupid enough and willing to go take your power bill down there and pay for the electricity, which they don't pay for. And I mean, you add up the doors just in my city. Well, no wonder Mike Marsh, the CEO of SAS Power, makes $550,000 a year. Ken Fromm, Sask Energy, $548 or $580,000 a year. I think it was Doug Burnett from SaskTel that made close to $580,000 a year. And these are the same secret society club assholes that pay our senior citizens after 40, 50 years of service. What? I don't know. What do they get? $800, maybe $1,000 a month? After all those years of service, we got some swinging dick here at the top that thinks he deserves $580,000 because he's kept the secret quiet good enough. I don't want to go after the people. I want to destroy these psychopathic corporations stealing our wealth, stealing our life force. These are thieves, transnational mafia criminals, cartels. Poppy Bush owned the whole fucking drug trade in North America. Maybe he was the top guy for the world. I don't know. I don't know how far it went. In 5 to 7 years, you can't learn enough. This is going to be we'll probably still be learning 20 years from now the who's and how's of all the intricacies of this entire matrix of fear, division, rage, and hate that enveloped our entire earth plane. This is a sick cult, and this goes back thousands of years. So, but the people that are working for these corporations better make a choice, because I feel no sympathy for a man or woman working for the Hunger Games, trying to keep up their lavish lifestyle and their title over other men and women, keeping the cult quiet, keeping it a secret, brushing it all under the rug. Royal corrupt mounted police. We see what you do. Where were you? Our First Nation brothers and sisters have been decimated for a century that we know of. Where were you? You have to have been owned the top 10 or 15%, or you don't keep that quiet. You know, now I'm saying that the other 85% of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the people who signed up to serve and protect and want good for their cities and towns and provinces, we need you people badly. But your corporation is going under because guys like me are getting together now, and we're going to shut them down. We're not tolerating it anymore. You know, I don't give a shit what your skin color is. I don't care what worship book you got in your hand. I don't care who you chose to vote for. I don't vote. I don't vote for anybody because I don't need anybody to govern me. These assholes all apply for the same job. And I'm not voting for somebody at a private corporation anyways. They have a board of directors that selects these people. We go to a polling station. We don't go to a voting booth. Stolen elections? When's Canada ever had an election? We only believed we did because they put on such a good show on the world stage. I won't vote. I will never go vote. I won't vote for one of these assholes. I don't want nothing to do with your shitty psychopathic system. I don't even want my appellation tied to your bullshit show. So, people, stop complying, stop obeying, stop living in fear. We've all had enough. But now it's time to stand. We stand together. Come to our warrior calls. Come on, people. 13,000 people in the Telegram group, and we can't get 650 to a live stream every night. Something's wrong. You people are too distracted or just too lazy. But I'm not gonna just come and find you. We have a place to gather. Christopher James has got an awesome website. Check out the drop-down menus. There is so much information just on the drop-down menus. You haven't even hit a live stream class yet. And when you hit the live stream class and you jump into the chats, you wouldn't believe what you can learn. And that's why I don't do the Telegram group, Christopher James, because there's too much noise, too much bullshit in there, and too many lazy people. If you want to come find out what's going on, commit some time. Those who commit the time are going to learn the most. He or she who questions well, learns well. Questions. He or she who queries well, learns well. And we all got a lot of queries to make after 2020. They didn't shut your world down for flu season. Much, much bigger than anybody could have known. Anyways, I'm almost 20 minutes. I thought I'd try and keep this one around 15. So I'm going to be doing more videos. I've got quite a few topics that I want to go over, but I'm just trying to break them down into a little more topic focused. You know, like I'd like to do one complete video on consent of the governed. I'd like to do another complete separate video on the 12 presumptions and assumptions of the private bar guild. And unless challenged, they stand as private bar guild matters. I've got hundreds of questions that you could easily ask any judiciary, fiduciary, magistrate, even the satanic judge in the black dress, in the mourning robe. You know, they're mourning the dead. All rise, rise from the dead. The God has entered the room. We're worshiping fake gods, people. We're fearing these fake gods. Stop fearing. No man or woman has any more authority or power over any other man or woman. Full stop. You don't need parse, syntax, grammar to know this, people. Common sense. You know. All right, warriors. Thanks. Peace out. Can't wait to see you online tomorrow night. Christopher James. I doubt you're going to catch this, and if you do, it's probably not going to be right till the end. But we need our Wednesday night back, man. There's 600 people that really enjoy those 3 nights a week to get together with our warrior family and share information of what we're learning and the changes we want to see. You know, we all want the same goal, Christopher. Save every man, woman, and child from this disgusting, evil, psychopathic, invisible enemy. This entity. And the invisible enemy has been hidden in plain sight our entire lives. The Bar Association. And just remember, Bar Association, you drew first blood. You kicked a wolf in the face, and this wolf will never stand down. And I'm coming for each and every one of you by rule of law. Fidelity bonds, insurance indemnities, and careers will be lost over this because of the choices that you've made, the actions that you've taken. You know, shame on you for just letting the criminals off the hook on August the 5th and letting them walk away. Shame on you. I still don't even know. And that's disgusting. What you've done to a man, all to protect your secret society and your job and your Hunger Games pay. You guys showed me everything. God told me what to look for, and you showed me everything. Didn't even cost me a penny this time. So, and now, unfortunately, there's a few of you that will go to jail over this, you know, and habitation law or castle law still counts under the supreme law of the land. You know, because your admiralty law, your maritime law, your law of the sea, it ain't got nothing to do with me. And you've trespassed a man in such a grievous, purely wicked and evil manner that I will never stand down, because I realize that thanks be to God that Charlie and I are always provided for somehow. You know, I've had to move 6 times in less than 6 months since January 6th of 2021 because of you assholes. So, how many other men and women have you done this to? Or worse, how many men and women weren't strong enough to take what you did, the trespass that you committed, the injury that you created, Bar Association? And when the smoke clears, I promise every warrior out there, I'm going to show you every piece of paper, every piece of evidence, and the name, the appellation of every man and woman who did what they did, because they all put it on paper. They tried to make me afraid. They tried to make me run in fear. You know, just let the big bullies win. It's their game, their rules. I call bullshit, Bar Association. I'm the man. My game, my rules. I created you. I own you. And as my public servants, what you have done to my house, shame on you. You're not just going to get fired. You're going to jail. You are definitely going to jail. And I won't rest until it happens. And I'll be at every single trial. I promise. I want to look you in the whites of the eyes when I take every penny out of your pension and tell you why I did it, face to face, shoulder to shoulder, belly to belly. I don't care. But I'm coming for each and every one of you with this. This is the strongest weapon when it's combined with a strong mind. I don't need 7 years at some indoctrination camp to parrot the secret society language to beat you. because I know how now. I'm coming for you. Anyways, love you, warriors. See you on Monday. Let's kick this shit up a notch and have some fun on the way. Cheers, brothers and sisters.